You better run when the runners run. Show you how to get your money up. Dollar inflated like bubble gum. Markets are jumping like double dutch. Buying up gold till I get a ton. Crypto, yeah, I got some.
Welcome in, everyone, to the Runner's Wealth Party. It is Wednesday, July 27th. If you missed last night, I just wanted to do a quick replay from the legend Cedric Harris himself, who did us the honor of jumping on. And guys, you know how we do it. It just keeps getting better. So we have another amazing guest tonight. Before I introduce him, I just want to, again, give Ricardo a minute here to tell us why he's so excited about this project. And again, the fact that we have this guest on here is awesome, Ricardo. So take it away, man. Set the scene and get us pumped up.
Yeah, man. I mean, you already see we're excited, folks. I mean, we are blowing this thing up. So much excitement because people are hungry. The fact is, people are hungry. People are hungry for something real. People are hungry for something of value. You know, people are tired of the pump and dumps. They're tired of the scams. They're tired of hope. They're tired of speculation. And I know I am. I mean, I've seen some stuff out here, and you know, since 2008, since I've been in the crypto and blockchain, and I've never seen anything like this. And I'm just so excited for myself and then everybody else as well who is taking advantage of just something that's what, if you ask me, what blockchain and crypto and commodities was all about. When you marry these assets together, the way that the debt box and IS Global have, and what we have the ability to take position of, I'm telling you, my mind is blown. My phone's been ringing off the hook. I'm putting out content. I gotta let people know what's going on. And then for us to be connected with industry leaders and titans like Cedric Harris, and for us to be able to reach out and talk with leaders and in this industry, and like Travis Flaherty, okay, and be able to bring these people to you guys to show you where the value is, to show you, you know what I mean, that we have something that is real, and we're excited about it, and you want to be in position. So I'm just excited to hear from Travis and show you guys, you know, what we have here. And man, folks, I'm telling you this, I've been in this space for, you know, since 2008. I've never seen anything like this. I'm more excited about this than anything that I've seen and been a part of. And we've had a lot of good wins, a lot of good projects, but this right here, this takes the cake. This is it.
100% agree, Ricardo. And when I first heard about this whole node thing tied to assets and commodities, I went to YouTube and I started searching. And there was one guy who was just consistently putting out amazing content, explaining the vision of this company, because it is very hard to grasp. This is magnitudes we are not used to. And just last week, Travis has been in this industry for a long time, has a great record of being one of, you know, the most ethical, the most compassionate, the most helping people. He really focuses on, like we do a lot with mindset, teaching entrepreneurship, and how to handle yourself in business. Last week, Travis Flaherty was named the IX Global Ambassador. So, you know, thank you so much for coming on, Travis, and really just showing us and helping us explain this vision to our team. We truly appreciate it. If you just want to give a little bit about your background, what you're about, and you know, some of the success that you've had, and then we can kind of get into discussing some of the history of this company and how it came about.
Well, thank you, Mike and Ricardo, for having me here tonight. What a pleasure and a privilege that it is. And I got to tell you, I got to give a shout out to my man Cedric. He is truly one of the best in the business, and it's a privilege to be able to be aligned with each and every one of you guys. So thank you for having me here tonight. I keep hesitating to say I've never been this excited before, because it almost sounds cliche, right, to a certain extent, but I've just never seen anything like this. I legitimately have never seen anything like this. A little bit about me, just for those of you that don't know me. I've been married for 23 years, 6 kids, big family. I always start with that because honestly, it's what I'm most proud of in life. I'm an entrepreneur through and through. I've owned a number of different businesses. I've been in the network marketing industry for almost 20 years now. Started at the bottom, just a young kid with big dreams and a whiteboard and a marker. And I heard somebody say once, the guy with the marker in the front of the room always makes the most money. And I got to tell you, I never put the marker down after that. So always had a marker in my pocket to every meeting that I went to. And slowly but surely just started learning and aligning myself with mentors like Cedric and others in the industry and doing everything that I could to emulate. Over time, we started to establish one of the most valuable commodities that you can have in this space, one of the most valuable assets that you can have in this space, which is credibility. With credibility, you have solvency. Without it, you're bankrupt. And so we've been blessed to build some great organizations along the way. We've established ourselves as consultants in this space, somewhat of startup specialists, where we help companies launch new projects. Sometimes it's older companies that are launching in newer markets, and sometimes it's newer companies that are bringing new products to market. When I first heard about this about 60 days ago, I got to tell you, I was not looking for a new opportunity. I wasn't looking to align myself with IX Global. A gentleman, a friend of mine who I trust and respect tremendously, a guy by the name of Brian Robert, reached out to me, and he said these words, and I'm sure that we've all heard these words before. He says, "Travis, I'm not trying to recruit you. I've just got something that you need to see." and I just laughed and I said, "Yes, you are. Yes, you are. But it's okay. My respect was there. He had credibility with me enough that I was willing to listen." And he said, "If you're anything like me right now, you're probably trying to figure out, where do you put your capital? Like, where do you put your money right now? Because, you've got inflation that's at 9.1. In all reality, it's much higher than that if you add in shrinkflation, right? Where shrinkflation is where you go to the store and the bags are just getting smaller and smaller and smaller, but yet you're paying more money for it, right? So you add in all of these things, it's probably a little bit higher. You leave your money in a checking and savings account, and ultimately you're losing, right? You're losing. The stock market, I don't know if anybody's paid attention to the stock market lately. Retirees have lost over $3 trillion in the stock market. Cryptocurrency is down. So obviously with it being down, when there's chaos, there's opportunity, but you also have to know, where do you look? How do you what companies do you align with? And what are the things that you should be looking for? And so he asked me, he says, where are you putting your capital right now? And we've been giving a lot of thought to that. Even real estate, real estate is largely overinflated right now in most of the markets out there today. And he said, look, I've got something that it's commodities meets crypto. And I want to share this with you because it's something that we're going to be introducing to our field in the near future. We've recently just aligned ourselves with a company called the Debt Box, very well-established company. And we've been testing these products out now for a few months. And you just have to see this. My wife, he says to me, my wife keeps asking me, is this really real? Is this really real? Every single night. I said, okay, you've got my attention. Tell me a little bit more about it. So he started to tell me the history of the founders and a little bit about them. Jason and Jake Anderson are the owners of the Debt Box. They started off in real estate where they were flipping homes. And after they flipped a few homes, they realized real quickly that the hard money lender took the largest share out of the profit from the transactions that they were making. And so he said, look, I want to be on that side. We're doing all the work and he's making more money than we are. So they went out and they raised some capital and started a hedge fund, and eventually were managing the hedge fund and venture capital. And they did that for a long time. They got involved in mining Bitcoin when it was under $100 per coin. We always hear these stories, like these anomalies of people that were mining Bitcoin. And it sounds really cool, but in the world of hedge fund and venture capital and managing money, the rule of thumb really is 5X, right? If you can get your clients 5X on their money, you're in and out. So they were in and out and sold Bitcoin for $500. So you can imagine, how they felt about that later on in life. They got involved with mining. And when I say mining, I'm talking about real mining in Ghana. So they were mining gold, they were mining oil. They were over there building projects and developing relationships, and spent 10 years over there, where many of the mining companies from places like China would come in and strip mine the land. They would come in and they would plant 1,000 trees after each project. They would find water and they would donate it to the villages. And so slowly but surely, they started to develop trust and respect with the royalty families. There's 16 royalty families. They call them the shaman families, and eventually met the king, became acquainted with the king, and ultimately became in good graces with the government. Through that process, they pioneered a technology that is unheard of, that has the ability to be able to scan the earth and identify pockets of oil and other precious commodities in the ground. And when I say find these oils. There's other scans that are out there. There's companies that do this, but they can locate the oil to within 6 centimeters in the ground. They can locate the natural gas 17,000 feet into the earth and locate it to within 6 centimeters. So they knew they had something special. So they took this to a smaller oil company at first and said, look, oil companies spend tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in exploratory costs, trying to figure out where to drill, trying to, sometimes they miss the well completely, they miss the vein completely. And so being able to have a technology that can tell them not only where the oil is, or not only where the gas is, but where you should go into that chamber to maximize the extraction process is highly valuable. So they formed some partnerships. And one of the first mines that they found was actually in Nevada. This was a well that was drilled in the 50s and 60s. They thought that it had gone dry. With their technology, they found a well, a chamber that they didn't know existed that had 400 million barrels of oil in it. Can you imagine? And so, of course, from there, they started to establish a little bit of credibility. And then as time went on, they were able to bring on some more debt partners. And it was a very successful, fruitful partnership. Through that process, these guys, they have a background in cryptocurrency. They have a background in finance, and they wanted to launch their first coin. And that's ultimately where Black Gold came in on November 1st. And I don't know how far you guys want me to go into this story, but the bottom line is that's our proof of concept coin. That coin launched, and it went up actually over 120,000%. It's still up over 70,000%. I've been saying 76. It's actually up 76 now after the crash. Went up over 120,000%. Created over 205 millionaires, one every 3 days inside of their ecosystem. And it comes back to one word: tangibility. Tangibility, because there's so much speculation in this industry. What people want is substance, not hype. What people want is something, you look at the dollar when it was backed by gold before it was removed from the gold standard. What's happened to the value of the dollar in the last 50 years? It's lost 86% of its value. Yep. So, when you have a bull run like we just had, where it was a great run, there was a lot of money that was made, but let's face it, there were coins out there that shouldn't have been out there being talked about. There were a lot of celebrities pumping coins up, tweeting about them, meme coins, pump and dump coins, ICOs that people are promising, come invest here, trying to raise their liquidity. This next bull run, mark my words, it's going to be based on tangibility. It's going to be based on substance. People are looking for real world projects. And these guys started with Black Gold and have now built an entire ecosystem, the world's first ecosystem that is backed by real world commodities that are in high demand. And oh, by the way, what they're doing is completely eco-friendly, which is extremely important, which is the second thing that I believe is going to be driving this next bull run as well. So I've met Jason and Jake Anderson. I've spent a lot of time with them. I will tell you that I thought that I understood the project. I started as an investor, but when I actually flew out, I first interviewed them on a Zoom, and that interview's out there somewhere. You can find it. When I first started listening to Jason, I realized, okay, this guy's special. But when I flew out and I sat down and I listened to him describe this ecosystem, that's when I kind of had that aha moment, and I shifted from, I'm not just an investor here. I believe that the entire world is going to want to know about this project.
Yes. Yep.
And I'm going to be one of those pioneers. Listen, it's the pioneers they write about in the history books. Yeah. And I'm going to be one of those pioneers that brings this to the world. So, that's why I'm here today. I
love it. Well, real quick, let me get this disclaimer out of the way. Travis has already probably got you guys excited. If you have not heard of us before, we are the Runners, an organic movement of people that started to help everyone get time and financial freedom. We are big on our motto, MUM, mindset, uplift, and manifest momentum. We want to have a positive mindset, the right mindset of a winner. We want to uplift and help others. We're going to manifest the future that we want and create the world that we want, because it is ultimately the people who decide what happens and whoever is putting that energy out into the world. And then we want that momentum to go hard, go quick, and go fast towards the dreams that we want. Now, of course, we are not financial advisors. No one here is a financial advisor. Crypto is very risky, as any investment is, and make sure that you never put any money in that you cannot afford to lose. We are not offering I wouldn't even use the word investments. What we offer are licenses. And what is a node license? Okay, so I want to spend a time doing a little bit of this. And I think Ricardo, if you could maybe kind of just use your amazing communication skills and maybe catch people up on what a node is.
Yeah.
And then Travis, I want to hear from you. One of the points you had on last night in your Zoom was something about IPAs. So if Ricardo, if you want to just kind of knock out what a Zoom is, and then Travis, if you can help them understand how important it is to have IPAs, I think that will bring some amazing value.
Yeah, I mean, so folks, what we have here, like simply put, what we are doing is buying software. This software is producing a token for us, and we're benefiting from the royalties that asset, that token is backed by. But a node is what makes the blockchain work. There is no blockchain, there is no cryptocurrency without nodes. Nodes are validating the transaction. So what we have here is the ability to own the underlying infrastructure to what everybody's realizing is the new monetary system, right? Cryptocurrency, the new medium of exchange, moving forward. Blockchain isn't going anywhere. Blockchain is revolutionizing every area of human activity. And when you can get in first to the companies that are taking this technology and providing real use case, real value, real resource behind it, that's where the millionaires come from. That's where the multimillionaires come from. Those people who get ahead of the technology, the companies, the individuals that take that technology and apply it in industry and beat out the old way that things were done. And those people who invest in early, those are the ones whose lives will change forever. So we just have the opportunity. We're just in position. We're so early to this thing. It's just phenomenal. This is a legacy. This is wealth building. And so what a node is, it's software. It's the underlying foundation of a blockchain technology. You get to own, have a license, have a node, and that node is going to continue to produce a reward for you every single day, okay, as a license holder of that node. And these particular coins that we're getting are backed by those real world assets that we're talking about, these natural resources, these commodities, these rare earth minerals, these gases. And so that's where the liquidity is coming from. That's where the value is coming from. And that's exciting because a lot of projects, they don't have that. They have hype, speculation, everything else that you heard Travis and Mike talk about earlier. So if you're in crypto, you got NFTs and you got all this other stuff, you definitely want to be into nodes, especially nodes backed by real world assets that we're sharing with you here today through IX and the Dev Box.
And I want to take a little page out of Travis's book here is, if you guys could go back in time 10 years to 2012, would you start buying Bitcoin when Bitcoin was just around $100? If you would, put a B in the chat. Put a B in the chat for Bitcoin if you would mine Bitcoins in 2012. You got to remember though, Bitcoin was only around $100 then. And some people might be like, well, what's $100 a day? That really isn't that much, right? Who knows where this is going to go? It's new technology. Well, you have your chance again. And, these could even end up being bigger than Bitcoin because they are backed by real world assets. So again, Travis, I love your conversation last night about the IPAs. And so some people might be like, okay, I don't really know what a node is. I kind of understand cryptocurrency, but why do I really want this thing? What really is the ultimate end goal of getting these IPAs, income producing assets, as you call them?
I'm a big believer in teaching self-reliance through entrepreneurship, self-reliance through developing IPAs, income producing assets. You go back 100 years and we were independent, right? I mean, we were butchers, we were farmers, we used our talents to be able to earn a living. And over time, what's happened is there's been a huge shift where we've gone from about 90% of the population then being independent to now being over 90% being dependent upon someone else to be able to collect a paycheck. Now, listen, I want to be very clear. There's nothing more noble than going to work and providing for your family and earning a living. So I'm not saying anything against someone that works or goes to work for someone else. But what I am saying is that we live in a world today where that can be taken away just like that. And we all have recently experienced that. So how do you develop wealth? Well, what is wealth? We all think, you hear the word wealth and you think, you might picture yachts or you might picture traveling. Listen, to me, wealth is just having more options in life. Wealth is being able to do the things that you want to do rather than the things that you have to do, right? That's what wealth is to me. And the way that you acquire true wealth and true freedom, you know what your financial freedom day is? The day that you no longer have to trade time for dollars. You can do the things that you want to do rather than the things that you have to do. Right. So how do you declare your financial freedom day? You develop income producing assets, passive income streams that put your money to work for you. All of us at some point or another has bought silly things, that we wanted that probably didn't produce any income. I know when I was young and dumb, I was buying the cars and all these things that didn't do anything for me other than gave me a little short-term little burst of, maybe my ego, right? Today, I'm all about collecting these licenses and other income producing assets so that I don't have to go to work if I don't want to, that I have the luxury and the option of being at home with my children every single day. I have the luxury to be able to travel and go create amazing life experiences with the people that you love and care about most. You talk about these nodes, it's pretty simple to me. At the end of the day, if I held up a dollar bill and said, would you rather have this dollar bill or would you rather have the ATM that puts out the dollar bills? Which one are you going to choose? It's pretty simple. That's really what it comes back to when it comes to these nodes.
That's it.
Yeah, it's essentially you own a money printer is really what it comes down to. So do you want to just have that one-time dollar bill, or do you want to own the machine and the infrastructure? So one thing that I want to make sure, coming from a teaching background, is making sure people understand what a commodity is. All right. A commodity is a tangible good that can be bought and sold or exchanged for products of similar value. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here just so you guys can see. So there's energy, right? Oil, natural gas, gasoline. Then we have metals, which we're big on. We've built huge teams in multiple businesses dealing with gold and silver. Then you have platinum, palladium, copper, all sorts of things. You have livestock, right? Steak, eggs, pork, agriculture, corn, soybeans, wheat, rice. Okay. So anything that can be grown. Now, typically, the commodities market is very difficult for the average person to get into. And there's futures where people will say, like, I'll buy this now and I want to deliver it in the future. And so it's really for the average person, they cannot get into it. But is the average person struggling more every single day because they're paying more for these things? Yes. All right. And what the debt box and IX Global allow us to do is to profit from those price increases, because now we don't have to go to the centralized authorities. We don't have to go to the stockbrokers who are going to take a percentage from us. We are able to access this in a decentralized manner and profit from these commodities and these assets that these cryptocurrencies are backed by. But we even have the infrastructure of that because we get to get these nodes. So the next one is very simple, just to show you guys how this works, right? Step one, okay, we're talking about the debt box right now, all right? And we'll get into IX Global and how that part comes in. But step one, you purchase a mining license and get it activated. Then you're going to earn daily rewards through the mining process. You can watch them roll in every single day. And then you can withdraw your rewards and redeem their value for tokens. So you could sell them for Bitcoin. You could sell them into USD dollars, USDT, or USDC. And then you're able to spend them, send them to your bank account, buy things in the real world. So this is spendable money. Now, as Travis has already talked about, is this company already has, a real product that has happened in their black gold nodes. So Travis, if you want to kind of expand on just the vision of the company when it comes to having multiple commodities, multiple assets that are backing these tokens and where they're kind of at in that process.
Well, everything comes back to the scan technology, because not only can they find the oil, but they can also, and by the way, where there's oil, there's gas, right? And it's self-regenerative gas, because it's a natural byproduct of the drilling process. But we can also find precious metals, gold, silver, palladium, aluminum, all of these things, right? So everything kind of hinges around the scan technology. But what they are doing is they're creating this ecosystem that allows you and I to be able to build a portfolio in the digital currency space that is, again, backed by these commodities that are actually in high demand. And that is so crucial because in the past, when it comes to building a portfolio, our options have been, play the long game. Here's your stocks. Let's play the long game and put a little bit of money in and let's dollar cost average over a longer period of time. And I'm not saying that doesn't work. And I'm not saying don't do that. But what I'm saying is we've been very limited in our options when it comes to building portfolios. And this to me really brings the digital currency, the world of digital currency together. I mean, in my mind, this gives someone the ability to really make that transition and feel like they're doing it without having to trust the speculation or to trust the hype and all of these things that are going on because of that tangibility. So you've got a number of different projects that they've introduced. Debt is our utility token. So debt is now on a number of exchanges, everything from LBank to CoinGecko. We've been listed on 5 different exchanges just this month. So it's not about what we're doing or what we're going to do. It's about what we're already doing. And that is so important. If you've researched these projects out there in the marketplace, you'll understand that everybody is talking about what they're going to do. These guys are already doing it. So, that the debt utility token is going to support the entire ecosystem, trading at about $19 per coin right now. We're averaging somewhere in the neighborhood of about 1 to 1.5 million in trading volume every single day. These are all the signs, guys. When you talk about what are the things that you want to be looking for to validate, is there trading volume? Is there liquidity? I can't tell you how many of us know someone who's sitting on millions of coins and they can't go cash them in because there's nowhere to cash them in because there's no money, there's no liquidity. So when you start hearing about trading volume, the fact that we are on a number of these exchanges, that's something that validates this whole deal. And I don't know if you guys want me to go through each one of these, but these different projects that are being offered, they allow us to build a portfolio that is diversified. I'm not just in oil. I'm not just in natural gas. I'm not just, I'm in deliverables and non-deliverables. What does that mean? A deliverable is, something like our gold project, DLG, that you can literally trade in tokens and they will send you the gold. Why? Because we actually have a vault with the gold bullion that's there. There's a few other projects that are out there that say they're backed by gold, but when you really research them, it's gold that's in the ground that hasn't been extracted yet. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of places where there's gold in the ground and it's more expensive to get it out of the ground. And it doesn't even make sense to do it. But a lot of these projects like to say, well, we're backed by this gold in this mine. No. We're backed by gold that's in an actual vault that they will send you. That's the deliverable. A non-deliverable we can't send you because we can't send you a barrel of oil. We can't send you natural gas. And so for me, I like the diversification. I like the ability to build some projects that are a little more conservative. And also I've got those projects that I have the opportunity to be able to shoot for the moon. But at the same time, I still have that backing of that commodity.
Right. No, that's perfect.
Yeah, this is just phenomenal. I mean, just to be able to leverage this technology. See the underlying foundation that really gives all this value, like you said, is that technology. And then for us to be able to benefit from the royalties of what this technology is doing and how they're using it. And then folks, you heard he said that we only talking about gold and gold right now and oil and natural gas, but that technology is able to find other commodities, other minerals, other rare earth resources. So you can just imagine where this company is going. Like you're just so early. I know that there's some things coming and they don't even have to tell me. I'm tapping into the frequency. I hear it, I see it, I already know. And for you to be in a position to be in this company, know about it first, get these nodes, when they first come out, start mining these projects, and then they come to fruition. And then you have it's a proven concept because they've already done it with oil. And then I love when Travis talks about, look, The tokenomics are the same. The tokenomics are exactly the same with natural gas, okay, and an oil project. So, and like you said, like past performance, yes, doesn't necessarily, or can or doesn't necessarily represent future results. But as far as I'm concerned, if you're telling me that they're pulling natural gas out the ground and they're going to do the exact same thing they did with the oil project, and this is what the oil project has done, it's a no-brainer to me, especially when I'm seeing that gas is going up in the United States, okay, natural gas prices going up, Europe being cut off from 40% of the gas that they were getting from Russia, okay, and now you're talking about the supply and demand and us leveraging, benefiting from the royalties. You see, that's what gets excited. And then, Travis talks about the royalties, they're coming on a quarterly basis or whatever have you, and it could be millions of dollars. And you're telling me every quarter they're buying these coins or the tokens, the supply, right? And then they're burning them. So reducing the supply, adding value, and then next quarter they're going to do the exact same thing. And then a quarter after that, they're going to do the exact same thing. And so you're talking about millions of dollars of liquidity coming into something that you are mining, getting paid out in every single day. And liquidity is coming from these real world resources that are in high demand, that are what make economies function. This is, oh my goodness, it's just getting started. It's mind blowing. I really don't think there's a lot of people who really don't understand how big this thing is. I think that, you might be comparing it to something else and you might kind of grasp it a little bit, but I don't think this model, because the owners themselves are node owners. So every contract through this scanner technology that they go out and get, they're just setting up to where they can take royalties to buy the supply of the coins that we're mining. We have the ability. Oh my, this is just like, I mean, look, dream bigger, okay? If you thought about being a millionaire, you might want to think about being a multi-millionaire. If you thought about being you might want to think about being a billionaire. And so we are in the largest wealth transfer in history, okay? We're going through a global economic monetary reset. The world is changing forever because of blockchain technology, and these commodities and resources are becoming more valuable, okay? And all this disruption with trade and commerce and everything around the world, and you're telling me that we now have the ability to leverage that? But before we were victims of it. We're victims of the high gas prices. We were victim of all this stuff. Right now, we're telling me we can leverage that. I can benefit from the royalties of that. And then you have this company with the technology that is allowing eco-friendly, okay, and all the less waste and being more effective and more efficient in the process. Look, it's only so many ways you can say this and show this, folks. I'm telling you, you want to be in position. You want to make sure you get your nodes. It's that simple. And like Travis says, it's really not that complicated. It's really simple. You owning some software that's going to pay you out in a token that's backed by these commodities, rare gases, minerals, okay? The money's coming in from the royalties on a quarterly basis. I'm done.
And so that's why I run with Ricardo right there. Speeches like that where he can just go off and you can feel his passion and excitement. So real quick, I just want to show you guys a couple things, and then we'll kind of get into how the debt box has evolved and is using another company to help market. So this is my own personal mining balance from my natural gas node that I bought. As you can see, it says mine last cycle, $7. So most people would look at that and be like, $7 a day, who really cares? That doesn't mean anything. And again, that's why a lot of people didn't get into Bitcoin at the beginning or mine it, because they were like, well, it's only worth $30. It's only worth $100. Who really cares? All right. What you have to understand right now, though, is this natural gas token is worth 0.00035 when I took this screenshot a few days ago. So it has the ability to go up just as the black gold went up, because when they were started to mine the black gold, it was probably a lot of the same story. It was not worth very much. They were getting, probably 10, 20 bucks a day, but they did not sell them because they were long-term investors, and they just kept accumulating more and more of these tokens every day. Then when the natural gas is taken out of the ground, the trust sells that for a profit. They're going to take that profit and come in and buy the coin, which, as Ricardo said, will drive the price up, and there will be less supply of it and more demand. So You can go right now to the debt box and buy a node for natural gas. It's going to cost you over $40,000 if you buy it directly from the debt box. You can see here in my portfolio value, $40,000. If you want to buy a black gold node now, it's going to cost you over $50,000 if you go straight to the debt box. And I want to, since we have amazing on the line, the IX Global ambassador, Travis Flaherty, I want him to kind of introduce IX Global and what their role is when it comes to helping the debt box grow and expand.
Okay, hang on, because I just after Ricardo's talk, I'm trying to finish buying another node because he got me all excited. So I just saying. Anyway,
I'm about to buy me some Nat G right now.
So IX Global. So these guys, first of all, have been in our space for a very, very long time. Joe Martinez is a seasoned veteran of the industry, 15 years. Started off, actually, want to go back a little bit. He actually served in the military. Did 3 active tours in the military, which I think, to me, number one, shows his level of commitment and level of discipline. To me, discipline is one of the key ingredients to success in anything. And one of the things that I've learned about Joe in the 10 years now, roughly 10 years that I've known him, he's one of the most disciplined people that I know, almost to the point where it's a little bit annoying, but you want your owners to be that way. You want them paying attention to the little things because it's the little things are the big things. So they started a company, or Joe started this company a couple of years ago, really out of necessity. A lot of times in this industry, we can go out and we can bring our relationships and we can go build momentum. And sometimes I always say, I've never failed at network marketing, but sometimes network marketing companies have failed me. And so Joe started his company out of necessity, saying, there really needs to be a company that does it right. And so they launched their company. They actually started in India because they had a very large organization in India previously. And they built that company to 100,000 plus distributors inside of India. And if you know anything about India, that's a tough cookie to crack. I mean, it's not an easy market. So they actually, if you go to Business for Home right now, the number 6 income earner in the world is listed on Business for Home. He's earning about $650,000 per month. Guys, inside of 2 years with this comp plan. And here's the thing, they didn't have nodes. He did it with just subscriptions. So when people say to the comp plan, does a comp plan work? Yes, it does. But they started there, Joe's wife, and they have Latino roots. And so they have recently now launched the Latin American markets. They're approaching $100 million in sales this year. I think that we're easily going to surpass that goal. They were voted as the number 1 up and coming direct sales company of 2022. So these guys are legit and they know what they're doing. They started off building their company around, financial services, education, cryptocurrency education, NFT education, Forex trading education. But it was recently that they added the debt box to their portfolio. And I will tell you that I know for a fact that every major company inside of the digital currency space wanted the debt box. And every one of them is called Joe asking if they can, take some of the product and take it over to their companies. So everybody wants their hands on this. Why? Because nobody has anything like this. No one has seen anything like this. And so they formed a strategic partnership. They've actually known the owners of the debt box for about 10 years. And when they first approached them, the debt box was a little bit skeptical about, they didn't know if network marketing was for them. And I got to say, I like this because sometimes network marketing companies, especially now, it's like guys get together and go, hey, we should start an MLM. That's a great idea. Well, what should our product be? And they sit around and then literally within a couple of hours, they come up with a product. And then it's like, well, let's go get a comp plan. And so they go shopping for a comp plan. And usually it all comes from the same building with some of these same guys that are running the industry. So I like the fact that the debt box was created and established long before they got involved in this space. But what they saw was value in each other because IX Global can bring to the debt box awareness. one of the things that allows them to be successful is to bring these nodes online around the world. It solidifies the overall network. And as you talked about a little earlier, Ricardo, when you bring awareness to a project at this level, but yet you have the demand continually or the supply continually going down, what happens to the value? So they gave Joe, just so you guys know, a 30-day test. They said, let's see what you can do. Here's your milestone that we want you to hit. Joe hit it in the first 48 hours when they first opened this up in India. And so they now have the exclusivity on all of these nodes in the direct sales industry. They are the wholesaler and the distribution arm for debt. And that is absolutely huge. And here's the best part. We're just now introducing it here in the United States. Like right now. Yeah. You guys are the pioneers. Nobody knows about this.
That's the position you want to be in, folks. That's the position you want to be in. You want to be first, okay? And I love what Joe has put together with IX. When I found out that the comp plan is paying out 73 to 75% or 70 cents on every dollar, boom, I was like, I've never seen that in the industry. And then when you have the successful track record, as you guys Mike was showing some slides, okay, and then you have the integrity of Joe and what we're learning from these relationships that people who have known him, okay, and then you have this ability. You see, we call getting nodes crypto flow. You want to have cash flow. You want to have residual passive, something coming on a consistent basis. So you want some crypto flow. So the crypto flow, that's your node. You want to have some cash flow. That's where IX come in. For us to now have the ability to have a real valuable product here that just itself alone, without a comp plan, there's value here. That's how you know if you really got something. Yep. You see, most people lead with the comp plan. Oh, the comp plan, this is the comp plan. And we're making so many millionaires from the comp plan, but their product or their coin is doing nothing. They're doing nothing. It's all hype and speculation. Like you said, they're hiring celebrities, pumping and dumping them, giving them a whole lot of coins, paying them, and people are coming in and create a little boost, and then the coin drops. What we have here is a real product that has value, okay? And then you have a company that is now putting you in position to create a passive residual income. And you're telling me somebody in this company is making over $500,000 a month without the nodes? Come on, folks. This is too easy. It's like taking candy from I know you heard it before, but yeah, it's pretty much like that. Okay. It's ridiculous. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Look, I done blew a fuse. Go ahead.
And so let me bring some clarity, just because we're probably only go about another 10 minutes. So like I said, you can go to the debt box right now and buy a NatG node for $40,000. But because of IX Global's vision, months ago, they bought bulk nodes when they were still cheap. Because remember, people that got those black gold nodes only paid $1,000 for them. So when you become a member of IX Global, okay, you have a couple options, all right? And we're going to find more about the company and all things they offer this Saturday on some training. But for just $50 a month, you are able to buy as many nodes as you want, okay? Now, there's no contracts. You're not locked in. If you say, once you buy your node, you're like, you know what, I'm going to do all this myself. I know about VPNs. I know about VPSs. I'm going to host it. I'm going to do all the technical. I'm going to make sure my computer's running. If you know how to do all that and you want to do it yourself, you can. Okay. If you want to share this out and participate in the compensation plan, it's $115 a month. There's also lots of other benefits from the company that we're still trying to understand. But right now, there's so much value in the nodes. That's what we are focused on. So right now, there are 6 different nodes that you can buy. Travis, since you're probably more of the expert here, if you want to just maybe give like a quick 1-minute summary on each one and maybe some of the benefits, maybe some of the concerns, some of them might go quicker, some of them might take a little more time, but just so people kind of get an overview of, what might work for them. And the fact that we can, again, we already saw what happened with black gold, going from 1,000 to over 50,000 for a node. There are still nodes here that are selling for $1,000. So Travis, if you just want to hit on them really quick, we'll pretty much be done.
Yeah, so you've got 2 categories here, right? You've got some nodes that have been out for a little while, and you've got nodes that were just introduced. So Black Gold is our proof of concept. As you mentioned, right now it's retailing at 49.5, and they are selling them at 49.5 at the debt box. So of course that's supported by our oil partners, if you will. You can purchase that for $6,000 through IX Global. And I do have a story about that in just a moment I want to share. NatG is a project that was introduced about 8 weeks ago. So we are definitely still in the accumulation phase of this project. In fact, we literally just had our drills arrive to be able to start drilling down. The first drill wasn't large enough, so they had to bring another giant drill in to be able to get down to 17,000 feet. I'll actually be at this well on Wednesday of next week, and I'm going to be doing live videos and footage and bringing that back to you guys so you can see it. So that is $3,250 per license. It's selling for $40,000 right now at the debt box. And by the way, how do we do that? It's because IX buys tens of thousands of licenses at a set price when they first come out, and they control that price because they know who their audience is. So they keep that price point down, which allows us to be able to benefit by being a member. It's one of the huge benefits of being a member of IX Global. Grow, I like Grow a lot. Grow was introduced just about 4 weeks ago, and Grow is high yield agriculture. I mean, think about right now what's going on with our food sources. It's kind of an interesting deal if you start diving down that rabbit hole. But, I believe that crops like hemp and crops like cocoa bean and those type of things are going to become more and more valuable. It also includes carbon credits. And this is genius. This is how these guys think. So carbon credits, when you're an oil company, you are required to buy carbon credits. Why? To offset the footprint that you have in the earth. So a lot of these farms issue these carbon credits. They're certified to be able to do that because of the contribution in the world that they're giving, right? By planning and ultimately contributing. So think about this. If you're an oil company and you want to use our scan technology, we require you to buy carbon credits from where? From our debt partners. So that fuels this particular project. So I'm really interested in this project. I think that this is actually a great price point at $2,500 right now. And then as you come down, we've got some new nodes that just came out. We're talking about days old here. You've got DLG, which is a deliverable backed by Bullion that is actually in a vault. Again, I mentioned earlier, you can submit your tokens. They'll send them to the Burn wallet. They'll actually send you a gram of gold or more, depending on how many tokens that you have. You're protected by that downside risk because essentially, even if the coin were to go down, you can still request the gold, and whatever gold is selling for, that's essentially the asset that you have. You probably won't see the same kind of swings that you will with the deliverables, just because, again, they are backed and protected by the real world gold. $1,500 a license is a great price point. Aluminum is one that I've really got my eye on. I like this project a lot because aluminum is in high demand right now. People don't realize aluminum is in everything. It's in, first of all, all of the soda cans all the way through to the micro chips that are back ordered right now. Perfect. I love this slide. Shows the actual demand over the course of the last 20 years. And as you see where it's going over the next 20 years, we have partnered with one of the largest bauxite mines in the world. And I know I sound cool saying that, but I got to be honest with you. I had no clue what bauxite was. I had to go look it up and research it. It's actually a clay that turns into an aluminum. They produce about 1.2 trillion tons per year. They're expanding their operation to 5 trillion tons per year. And they have partnered with us as their exploratory partner to allow that to happen. So that 1.2 to 5 trillion, that 3.8 difference, we're getting royalties on, and that feeds into this project. Another thing I like about this is we're already mining. So the tokenomics are going to start right away with this project. So at $1,000, guys, the only reason you see these price points is because Joe said, look, let's come out with promotional prices. Let's give our audience, let's give our members the ability to be able to get into these licenses at an affordable price point. And he talked debt into coming out with these licenses at this price point. Explorer, I'm telling you, this has huge potential, but you're going to have to be a little bit patient with it because we've partnered with Google and Boeing and SpaceX, and they are launching us into space, our own satellite. Up to this point, we've been leasing space on another satellite. It's very expensive to do to be able to to operate our scan technology. Now we will have our own satellite. But what's cool is others will be able to lease that space on that satellite, and the profitability from that project will feed into this. Think about this. Partners like Boeing, Google, SpaceX, talk about credibility. Partners like Shell and Exxon, partners like American Express. Wait, I didn't say that. No, I didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't say that. I don't want to throw that out there. I don't know where that came from. I don't know if there's another.
You broke up for a minute, Travis. We couldn't hear you.
Could there be another project coming like that? Just think about the credibility. So for me, I love that, again, we can build a well-balanced portfolio, and I just have to share this story real quick. I'll keep it brief. I called Jason the other day, the owner of Debt. I said, listen, I've got a friend of mine, $25,000 he wants to invest. And you know, I normally wouldn't ask this, but Jason and I were just texting. So I just happened to call him, and he picks up, and I said, if you were to buy $25,000 worth of your notes, what would you buy? And he's like, oh, man, that's like asking which kid is my favorite. You know, that's tough to say because each project's at a different stage, right? And a lot of us, I did this. I dismissed black gold because I'm like, oh, already went up 70,000%. I'm going to Nat G. So I started at Nat G. I bought 10 Nat G licenses. But the funny thing is, what happened when Bitcoin, you guys remember when it went up to a few dollars and everybody was like, oh, I missed out. And then it went to like $100. Oh, now I really missed out. And then I remember when it went to like 1,300, I was like, now I'm definitely not going to buy Bitcoin, right? So here's the thing. Here's what he said. He said, look, I love all of our projects and every one of them has tremendous potential. But I will say this, we're selling black gold right now. He goes, I just sold one for $49,500 yesterday. He said the fact that Joe still has licenses available for $6,000, he goes, do you understand this will sell out this month? There's only a couple of days left this month. He goes, if I could take his licenses back, I would, because I know I could sell them for $49,500. Guys, on that day, we bought 2 black gold licenses. So I'm not saying what you should do, what you shouldn't do. You've got to decide what projects make the most sense. But there's some awesome, awesome projects, including these projects that you can get in on a promotional price point and start in the accumulation phase where there's not that many node holders online. So you're the one accumulating a lot of those tokens. And I can promise you, the people that got into black gold during those phases, ask them how they feel now.
Man, I'm telling you. And so that Explorer node is $1,000 for that node to benefit from what the satellite produces. And you know, this is so they have, you know, categories. You talk about diversifying. So you have low risk, medium risk, and they haven't even released high risk. So I mean, I'm just telling you that, you know, oh man, I'm so excited. I'm so happy that IX and Joe did this, and the relationship that they have with Debtbox, and us being able to have access to average person. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are, you know, you have access to this. This is already. It's not even that we're hoping this is going to be life changing because, you know, we think it's a good idea. It has already been life changing for over 200 people who became millionaires from the node that's backed by oil. Right. And the 1 or 2 millionaires that's created every few days or so. I mean, so, you know, I'm pumped. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is the best thing that you're going to do in 2022 is get these nodes. And the thing is that, look, once they sell out, folks. That's it. And as they start to sell out, the prices of these nodes are going higher. As the network starts to fill out, the distribution is divvied out amongst more people. Okay. So you want to be in early. You want to get these nodes now. You don't want to wait. You want to get a node now so you can get it at the best price because you don't know when the prices are going up. Okay. And you want to get the most distribution for these coins every single day. You want to sit and stack these coins. And I'm right there with you, Jason. I ain't selling for at least a year. When you see, I talk about this on my live stream all the time. The difference between price and value. You see, a lot of people get caught up on the price of something, where it is now, and they're looking at the price, and you will miss the value. So I want you to understand the value in what we have is much bigger than we're even conceptualizing right now on this stream because of the dynamics that are going on in the global economy. Okay, we literally have the wind at our backs, and we're going to be benefiting from what's going on as opposed to being victims. Okay, and we get to help thousands of other people do that. But trust and believe, these nodes are going to sell out. The black gold is already selling out. But don't worry, you're still early. There's so much stuff coming. Oh, I mean, like he said, get the Explorer node for 1,000. Get the aluminum node for 1,000. These price points are mind-blowing. I mean, literally, he just said that you can get a node that's selling for 50,000 pretty much for 6,000. And it's not like the proof of concept has already been done. This is on-chain data. The node right now is producing what, $17, $20 a day. Now that's the price right now. Once again, don't get caught up on the price. Focus on the value. So look, I mean, I'm turned up, man. Travis, I'm sorry. Thank you, man. Thank you for coming on this live stream. Thank you for everything that you do. I love the way you explain this. I love the way you present this. You are phenomenal. They couldn't have picked a better person to be the ambassador of IX and what's going on for this company. And I look forward to celebrating with you in Barcelona, okay? And every other trip that's coming. So, yeah.
Well, one thing I wanted to add here at the end, guys, is you don't get what you want. You get what you have to have. And if you saw value in what was presented tonight, get back with the person who invited you here, who sent this Zoom to you. If you're watching this on a replay on YouTube or Vimeo, just look down below in the description. You'll see instructions or links to get started. But you have to decide what you are going to do in your life. If you say, man, this sounds amazing, but I don't have $1,000 right now that I can spend on it. All right. You need to get a side hustle. You need to get a second job. Maybe you need to sell some other crypto. Maybe you need to just buy some of the tokens. You can buy $10 of black gold a day. I think there's, you can even start getting some Nat G on Pancake Swap. So maybe it's just you buying small amounts of the coin, because if you believe in this project, you want to get exposure to it as much as possible. Now, the last resource I just want to share before we close out, of course, is the Runners app. So we have our own app. You can get your link from Ricardo or myself or anyone on our team. But I just want to show you guys the resources we have in here. So and this is a free app. So when you go to IX Global Debt Nodes and you click on this,
You better roll.
okay, you're going to have actually this first overview is from Travis, one of the videos that he did on YouTube, how to buy the debt node. We have our replay last night with Cedric Harrison here. We have this one I would definitely watch. Like when I watched this video of Travis interviewing Jason Anderson, the founder of Debt, I was sold. I was like, This guy knows what he's talking about. I get it. He has amazing vision. If you're wondering about the compensation plan, we're not going to go into it tonight, but it's all right here. How to place in the holding tank, how to get paid and set up your KYC. And we're going to keep adding more and more videos in there as we continue to grow with this business and help more people. I think that's it. Again, Travis, thank you so much for coming on. Did you have any last words? Or, I mean, you dropped so much knowledge. I don't know if you can drop any more, but if there's anything you want to say before we sign off, go ahead.
No, I think that you guys have done a phenomenal job. It's been a privilege and a pleasure to be here. I would just say this, if you knowed how lucrative node mining is, if you knowed what we knowed, then you'd be in on these nodes too. That's how I'm going to close it out. If you know what we knowed, then you'd be all over this. So no, thank you guys very much for having me here. It's been a pleasure. These guys are incredible presenters and leaders. And I'm excited to be able to lock arms with them. So thank you for having me.
You better run when the runners run. Show you how to get your money up. Dollar inflated like bubble gum. Markets are jumping like double dutch. Buying up gold till I get a ton. Crypto, yeah, I got some.